friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm finally doing a follow-up video to my previous ultimate flip phone review video. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so the LG Lollipop phones are these dumb phones or feature phones that came out, I think, around 2009, 2008. Let me double check. These came out in 2010, and when it came out, it was actually kind of popular, especially in the K-pop community, I guess, because it's just so cute. It came in different colors as well. So there's pink, there's red, I believe there's lime green, black, and then there's also the blue color, which is also pretty nice. It has a 2.8-inch screen. I'm just gonna skip this. And then it also has a 3-megapixel camera, which at that time it was, I guess, not the best, but not bad. I mean, good enough that you have a camera on your phone. And then it has a really small 800 milliamp hour capacity battery. It has a removable battery. You can also put SD card slots. If you don't care about texting and you just want a cute little flip phone to use as maybe an MP3 player, then maybe this will work for you. Let me just show you the menu screen, but before that, this is the keypad. And obviously this is probably refurbished, so it's not the original. There's also a version that came out in the US, I believe, and they called it the Lollipop or LG D-Lite, and that one has a colored D-pad. So the pink one has a pink D-pad, and then the blue one has a blue D-pad. So this is the keypad, and then typing is just like the usual flip phone. So you have to press it multiple times to get to the letter that you want. For example, if you want C, you have to press number 2 3 times. What I really love about this phone is the sound effects. So it has this kind of like bubble sound effect, which is really cute. Now, another thing that's popular about this phone is the secret lighting, is what they call it. So at the top, there's this transparent thingy. Secret lighting, basically when you get a notification, a text, or a call, this will light up, and you can actually change the color and the way it lights up in the settings, which let me quickly show you. Be under screen, secret lighting, and then you can change the pattern to, say for example, going from right to left or left to right, and then you can also change the color. So it's really cute. Imagine like you're getting a call and your phone lights up. Not just that, the screen, I mean the front cover also has LED display. You can see it shows the time, and then you can also like get this kind of like, what's this, kind of like screensaver thing, and you can customize this, which is really cute. I feel like phones in 2010s and earlier are so much better and cuter and has more character. So this is the home screen. You can change the wallpaper, obviously. So I like how it has this bubble thing that goes to the icon that you're clicking. So you get organizer. It's kind of useless because I don't think this is even 2G. So let me see here. So the network is GSM and HSBA. So it's probably not gonna work wherever you are. But I can imagine people using this for, I don't know, like simple things like keeping track of schedules. Because look, it's so cute. Or maybe a to-do list, writing memo or secret memo, like a secret diary. And then multimedia, it has a camera. Let me just see if I can take a picture here. Of course, it's not gonna be good camera, but at the same time, it's not so bad. It's actually kind of cute. It's the vibes from the early 2000s. And then get music, FM radio, voice recorder. It's such a cute phone. Unfortunately, it's not gonna work for texting or calling anymore. Plus, it has different themes as well. So screen theme, you get an option to change the wallpaper, the startup sound and picture, and then handset theme, blue theme, which is also different. It's not bubbles, it's kind of like what's this, hanging pictures, but I like the other one more. The last thing I want to show about this phone is whenever you turn this on or off, it shows you a picture that you set and then custom tune. So this is when I turn it off, and then when I turn it on, so yeah, this is the LG Lollipop cute phones from 2010. The next one, which is also just like the Lollipop phone, kind of useless, is the Samsung Nori phone. It's a flip phone from also 2010 from Korea. It has similar specs as the LG Lollipop. It also has this cute little LED display thing, just like this one, but I feel like the build of this is better. Of course, you get a hole for your phone charm. It has a removable battery, which is 880 milliamp hour. You get a SIM card slot as well as an SD card slot, and a camera, volume buttons. You charge this with micro USB, which is convenient. Unlike the Lollipop, it has this proprietary connector or charger. So this is the phone. So it has, so mine is pink, but it also comes in, I think, navy blue color and maybe blue or orange. So this one is pink, and the inside is this silver color. I also like the sound effect. This one is probably not gonna work for texting and calling. It also only has GSM and HSPA. Unfortunately, this is just for the people like me who are into collecting cute flip phones. But if you're not into that and you want something usable, then don't get this one. So I can't really tell you much about this. It's really similar to the LG Lollipop. This one is from Samsung. It's the Samsung Nori Flip, and you can use this for, I don't know, as a calendar, alarm clock, or something to put your memos on, or schedule blocker. I have this Aquos shot flip phone. This is the SH-06A, and unfortunately I just had to mention this because it's such a cool phone. Basically, you open it like this, and then you can twist the screen, and then boom, it turns into a touchscreen. So it has touchscreen, and then it's supposed to be like kind of like a digital camera. I don't have a charger for this. This is such a cool phone, so I thought I'd mention it. Here's a flip phone from Sharp, which is the Sharp Aquos SH-06G. This one unfortunately doesn't have Wi-Fi, but let me give you some specs. So this came out in 2015, so about 20 years ago. Wow, 20 years ago. Can you imagine that? It's been a long time. It's available in black and also teal aqua color, which is really pretty, by the way, but I have it in white. And it has the click to open mechanism. This is the keypad. It also has the touch cruiser, which a lot of newer Japanese flip phones don't have anymore. So basically what that is it turns your entire keypad into some kind of trackpad. And see, it controls the mouse pointer on the screen, and I thought that's really cool. Too bad they don't have this anymore in the newer phones. It's running on Android 4.1. It doesn't have Wi-Fi, and as for the network or connectivity, it has GSM and UMTS. So if you're from the US, forget about this. It's not gonna work in your country. Now if you're from the Philippines, I can still use this, with Smart. I've tried this with Smart. I'm not sure about Globe, but I tried this with Smart and it works with calling and texting. So if you're good with just calling and texting or using your data to access the internet, then you're probably gonna like this one. It's really cool. Now, out of the box, this phone, just like any other Japanese flip phones, will only give you stuff like mail, web, camera, album, file explorer, settings, your tools like your alarm, timer, clock, calculator, memo, all that stuff. But it won't have those apps that you can download from the Play Store, for example. What you can do is you can sideload Aurora Store, which is it's similar to Google Play Store. That should let you download some apps that you might need. However, keep in mind that this is running on Android 4.1. So even if you can download apps, there's probably barely any apps that work with that old of an Android OS version. So just keep that in mind. So I don't use this for accessing the internet whatsoever, but it's good as a music player or just a cool little camera. I think this has 8 megapixel camera. That's right. And also it has 4 gig of storage and only 1 gig of RAM. So you don't really get a lot of RAM. Because of that, you can't really run a lot of apps that needs a lot of resources, like Uber, for example. So this is the Japanese phone, Sharp Aquos SH-06G. Now let's go to the flip phones that are likely going to work or function better than the other ones I reviewed earlier. Starting with this one, this is from Kyocera. By the way, for Kyocera phones, they're kind of easy to tell if it's from Kyocera because they basically have this, the edges are not rough, they're rounded, so they have a more rounded look compared to, say for example, Sharp phones, which are boxier. This is the Kyocera KY42C, and this one is running on Android 5, which is Lollipop. This one is just so freaking pretty. It has a front screen, and then you get a camera button here. It also has infrared, which you don't really see anymore in newer phones. 8 megapixel camera, and then a speaker. Also has a removable battery. You can put micro SD card up to 32 gigs, and it accepts nano SIM card. So let me turn this on to show you. Because it's running on older Android version, it's a little bit tricky to get apps to work with this one, but it can still work. For example, I have side-loaded Aurora Store. Like I always say, just download Aurora Store, and then from here, you can download the other apps you might need. As you can see, it says here, app not available on my device. As a workaround, what you can do is go online on your browser or something and then just find an older version of Instagram that still supports Android 5. This one has 8 gig of internal storage, so not a lot, but enough for you to be able to install some apps like Messenger or WhatsApp, maybe music app, for example. And then only has 1 gig of RAM, just like all other flip phones that I have currently that are Japanese. And then for the network, it has 2G, 3G, and 4G. For 4G, it has band 41. It might work in the US, but don't quote me on that because I'm not from the US. It has band 41 and also has micro SD up to 32 gigabyte. The battery is pretty good, I would say. I'm not even gonna go into much details about how long each one lasts because they're roughly about the same. It lasts me about 2 days, 1 to 2 days. 1 day if I'm using it a lot. So it can last me 2 days or even more if I stretch it out a bit and don't use it as much. This one has Wi-Fi though, which is good. Lets you easily connect to the internet, and say for example, one thing I've been getting recently is this CAPTCHA thing, which just has been so annoying because I can't get past it with just my phone. I have to connect it to a computer and use screen mirroring, and that's not always convenient. So as you can see, the CAPTCHA thing is kind of broken. I'm starting to think it might be nearing end of life in terms of usability with the browser. But thankfully, other things like the music player, for example, it has a Lismo. The Gratina flip phones from Kyocera usually have the Lismo music player app, which is pretty convenient. It lets you listen to songs, phone like this, and then use the D-pad to control it. So you get the arrow next to go to the next song, or the left to go to the previous song, and then up and down to increase or decrease the volume. Now, not all would have this, but it's good to have, just keep that in mind. If you don't have this, I would recommend getting something like Music Colette or Power Amp as alternative. So I don't have a lot. I have Key Mapper in all of my flip phones because it helps you bind keys to other functions. Japanese flip phones typically don't have volume buttons, so you want to use Key Mapper to bind other keys and use that as your volume controls. The next one is also from Kyocera. This is the KY39. Just like the previous one, this has about 2.5 or 3.4 rather, 3.4 inches screen. It also has Android Lollipop, which is 5.1. You can put a micro SD card, but most importantly, what you probably want to know is connectivity, LTE. I'll try to put stuff here on the side or something, so you can just pause and check the specs. This one also has Wi-Fi. What I like about this though, compared to KY-F37, is that the KY-F37 comes with micro USB port, and this one has Type-C. So it's really convenient when it comes to charging this. Probably most likely have USB Type-C cable lying around. Has an 8 megapixel camera, a flash. Very simple and minimalistic. I actually quite like this. It has a front screen for your clock and notification. And if you open it, this is the keypad. I have the music player pre-installed, which is what I'm using. Calculator is basically what I'm using this phone for. I have the settings, notepad, messenger is what I use to connect or communicate with people. New pipe as a YouTube alternative, and then that's pretty much it. I don't have a lot of apps on these phones because my goal is to just reduce screen time as well. So whenever I'm using my flip phones, I try not to like download a lot of apps. Some browser applications. This one has pretty good battery life. I think this lasts me 3 or 4 days, but it could also be because I happen to have a unit that has newer battery maybe, or it's not abused as much compared to the other ones that I've got, which got in them, some of them secondhand. And then if you want to see the camera, 8 megapixel as well. This video, please like and subscribe. So here's the photo, and then this is the video. This video, please like and subscribe. I absolutely love typing on this thing. Much like the other flip phones that I have, it has really good feeling, good quality keyboard or keypad. I love the feedback and the spacing. Although the phone is narrow, the spacing of the keypad is not that narrow, or it's not too far apart, but also not cramped. Or maybe I've just gotten used to it, but I absolutely love it. I adore it so much. So this is the KY-F39. Here's one of the more popular models. This is the Kyocera 902KC in pink, although this looks kind of metallic silver or bronze on camera, but this is what she looks like. I have her decorated with some stickers, and it has a flash infrared 8 megapixel camera. Also takes nano SIM card, micro SD card up to 32 gig, and I formatted this phone just earlier this morning because I was trying to find out something, but yeah, so that's why I have this default wallpaper. It has 3.4 inches screen, also has 8 gig of internal storage and 1 gig of RAM. Don't even think about running Roblox here or stuff that require a lot of power. It's just not gonna happen. Okay, it's limited to 1 gig and that's it. It has 2G, 3G, 4G networks, bands 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. So again, bands 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 for 4G. So just check with your carrier if that works. wherever you are, because in the Philippines I don't have to worry about that, thankfully. At least not yet. The speaker here, it's not gonna give you really good sound because basically the speakers is just your earpiece. This is the keypad. If you notice, when I'm showing you a phone, I'm basically telling you the same things about them. It's because they're very similar. The only main difference between these phones is the Android version, and that kind of tells you what kind of apps you can or you can download, or you can or you cannot download, because some apps don't support older versions anymore, like Android 4 or 5.1 for example. And aside from that, they're very similar, to be honest, and you only have to worry about if the bands would work where you are. So this is the 902KC. This is such a pretty phone. Now moving on to the ones that are Android 10 and up. This is the Sharp Aquos A205SH. It has this boxy look or style. Camera at the back, speakers, and it's kind of long. I guess it's longer than the other phones, just a little bit. Because it's boxy on the corners, it's not as rounded. It makes it feel like the phone is taller and narrower, but it's just illusion. It's basically the same. So 3.4 inches as well. And again, just like the other ones, 8 gig of storage with 1 gig of RAM, expandable to 32 gigs using a micro SD card, and it takes nano SIM card. I love this phone. The only gripe I have about this is, for some reason, I don't know why they do this, it doesn't have a built-in cursor. Thankfully, you can download third-party apps. For the longest time, I've been using Matte TVT cursor for this, but I've recently found out through my wonderful friends on Discord that there's this new app called C9. Basically what it is it's a cursor app. So I have mine set up to activate when I press the asterisk button here. I'll show you. And then I also customize the icon or the pointer. So I have this circle cute thing. So it works really well, and I like it. I don't really install a lot of apps on my phones. If you're wondering what 8 gig can install or can handle, you're looking at maybe, so this is what I have, for example. So Aurora Store, which is your Play Store basically. You can use F-Droid if that's what you want, or APK Mirror if that's your thing, but I like Aurora Store. I have a C9 cursor app, Key Mapper of course, because again, no volume buttons, and this is Matte TVT, which is what I've been using before. Some random app. This is like a widget thing with cute characters, and then Messenger, Music Collect for music, New Pipe for YouTube, some launcher, Niagara launcher, and you can probably install, depending on the app size of course, but you can probably install like 3 or more. You can use an SD card, but that's just gonna be for external storage like your pictures and music. So this is the Sharp Aquos A205SH. Next one is probably the one that I like the most currently, which is this Kyocera flip phone. This is the Kyocera KY42C. So you can see the model here. Has 3.4 inches screen and 1500 milliamp hour capacity battery. It doesn't sound like it's a lot, but you're looking at a flip phone that doesn't have a big screen, doesn't have a lot of smart functionalities, so it can last you 2 to 3 days. But if you're getting it secondhand, of course the battery is going to be degraded. Plus these phones are also old, so you just expect that you may or may not get 2 to 3 days. It depends. 8 gig of RAM, 1 gig of storage. 8 gig of storage, 1 gig of RAM. Also has 8 megapixel camera, which is about the same quality as the other ones that I've shown you earlier. But what's important once again is the connectivity. So for this one, GSM, LTE, CDMA, I don't have to worry about that here in the Philippines. But look at the keyboard. So these Kyocera flip phones, they have very similar looking keyboards or keypad, whatever you want to call it. And I think it's just really pretty. So this one is blue and the backlight is kind of blue. I don't know if it translates well on camera, but here. And then this one is pink. Or is it white? No, it's kind of pink. It's hard to see, but it's pink. I've been using this a lot because this is the most recent one that I've added to my collection. So let me show you what apps I have. I have Weather, Office Suite, Aurora Store, K9 Mail, which is what I'm using as the mail app that I have here. It's pretty lightweight and I haven't had any problems with it, so I'm using it. Key Mapper, of course, Kotatsu for manga, Messenger, Music Colette, New Pipe, Niagara Launcher, Total Launcher I've been trying. Someone from Discord he makes this really cute themes, so that kind of inspired me to also make my own, but I haven't had the time to do that. And then Via browser. I have an SD card here, which is where I store music. So you can kind of like, let me show you. Pretty cool because this app doesn't have it doesn't really have like, what can I call this? It doesn't have ads. Okay, it doesn't have ads. This is not the paid version, this is the free version, but even the free version is really good. So it doesn't have ads. It has a lot of features. You can even change the theme. So you can change the accent color, for example. Let me try that here. Under interface, you can change the color from dark to light. And then the accent color, I can change this to pink. There we go. And then you can change the music or the song by clicking on next or play, or this one here. Pretty cool, I think. You can show the lyrics if you have the lyric, shuffle the songs, repeat the songs, all that stuff. One of the best ones, and this is something that I have in most of my phones. The camera is also 8 megapixel. This is what it looks like. So not so bad, but it's not something that you like using if you're into photos, but for me, I love it. Good enough, especially for a flip phone that's basically about 10 years old. Now, I have this one too. These phones are exactly the same. This one's from the Como. This is KY42C, runs on Android 10, by the way, and this one too is Android 10. And then this one is from AU. This is the Kyocera Gratina KY42. They're basically the same specs-wise, and as you can see, the style is exactly the same. Only difference is the front display for the clock different. This one has a glossy finish. This one is more matte. And I heard between the two, you have more luck getting the KY42C from the Como to work in the US compared to this one. So for that reason, if you check eBay, for example, this one usually is cheaper than this. And I think that's it for these flip phones. And the last two that I have here they wouldn't be considered as dumb phone. These are smart flip phones from Korea. This is the Aroot A1 Folder. I have reviewed this in my channel. Look at this keypad. It's pearly white. It's pretty, and then the chrome finish is everything. It has a front screen. I haven't been able to figure out how to change this to English, but it's fine. I have forgotten which Android version this runs. Android 11. It has Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and as you can see, it has touchscreen. So ease of use, if that's your thing. I don't like using touchscreen on flip phones. This one has built-in Google services. So what that means is you get the Google Play Store natively, so you don't have to worry about side-loading apps. You can just like any other smartphones, just download your apps straight from here. Although this phone only has 2 gigs of RAM, so while it's higher than the Japanese flip phones, it's also slow. Like, it's not a lot. So you can download your apps like your Messenger. It has Android 11, so it's better compared to the older ones. And I have this Nova Launcher theme here with a custom pack so that it looks cute. This one is called Olympia Icon Pack. This one practically has double the storage of the Japanese flip phone. So 16 gig of storage, 2 gigs of RAM, And then it has a 3.5 inches main display and then 1.44 inches outer display. It has a 5 megapixel camera at the back, and then the front has 2 megapixel. But the picture quality, it's not good, it's bad. The pictures that you get from the Japanese flip phones, like this one, is so much better than what you get with this. And then let me see if I can show you the front camera. Here's the front camera. I don't know if you can see this little smisky thing. It has a front camera, perfect for video calling, face calling, video calling your friends, whatever. Aroot A1 Folder. So it has Android 11 Go Edition, which is light version or stripped version of Android for devices that don't have a lot of power. Finally, Mive style folder, which I used quite a lot. Like, I love this so much, except it's so big. This is the Mive style folder. This is the first one. There's already a second one, which I don't have yet. I'm still thinking if I would get that because it's bigger than this. Not a lot, but it's a little bit bigger than this, and I find this one already big. So I don't know if I'll get that. This one, I love this so much. This is something that I would totally recommend if you just want a flip phone but you can't let go of apps. And like if you absolutely need to have apps. So this one has Android 12 Go Edition. You can download your banking apps whatsoever. Any modern apps for the most part would work with this unless it needs more than 2 gigs of RAM to run, which of course it won't work because it only has 2 gigs of RAM. I have Noble Launcher as well. It has touchscreen. I have this cute little theme. And as you can see, I have more apps here because it allows me to use apps. YouTube, it also has Google Play services pre-installed, so you don't have to worry about downloading apps or side-loading apps. You get your Play Store here, and then you can download your apps easily. Has a camera. Not so bad, right? Here we go. That's your front camera. Unlike the other flip phones, especially the Japanese flip phones, this one doesn't have a removable battery, so this is what you get. Can't replace the battery, unfortunately. Even if you can imagine it's probably going to be difficult to get a battery for this because I imagine the battery is probably going to be available in Korea. And shipping it to other countries, super expensive because batteries are hazmat or hazardous or dangerous goods, and they cost more to ship than regular items. So it has 2 gig of RAM, 32 gigs of storage. You can also use an SD card up to 512 gigs, which is good. So you can install all your photos and your music, for example. The front camera is 5 megapixel, and then the main camera is 8 megapixels. It has LTE bands 1, 3, 5, 7, 8. What I like about this is it also has an audio jack. Just so rare. Even the older Japanese flip phones don't have that. Let's see. They don't have an audio jack, and they don't even have a volume control or volume button. However, you can use Bluetooth headsets with this. I've tried it, and they work. I don't have any issues with that. I guess it's fine. It also works if you have some kind of USB-C adapter for wired earphones. It will work as well, so no issues there. But of course, it's always more convenient to just have, you know, a 3.5mm headphone jack port here. This one has it. Of course, it has volume buttons, unlike the Japanese flip phones that don't have it. So this is huge. I mean, look at this. So much bigger than the other phones. Almost comical, to be honest. Whenever I'm using this, and then I'm going back to this, or vice versa, it takes me a day. Well, that's an exaggeration, not a day. It takes me a few hours to get used to the keypad because this one has a much bigger keypad, and so the keys are definitely farther apart compared to these ones. Plus, this one is wider. If you want to hear the keypad sounds. So yeah, perfect for if you're just transitioning from smartphones to flip phones or slightly smarter phones. This is not a dumb phone. This is a smart flip phone. It is inconvenient to use, so I guess it can still help if you're looking to cut down screen time. Even if you can download apps like TikTok or Instagram, it's not gonna be comfortable. So yeah, you can download your apps, all the apps that you want, your banking apps. They'll have the flip phone form factor without losing access to the apps that you want. Oh my god, what am I saying? Anyways, this is something I recommend if you're looking for a smart flip phone. You can't live without your apps. You can't live without your banking apps. You can't live without the maps. This is what to get. Or alternative to this would be the Japanese flip phone, what you call this? Freetel mode retro phone. And then there's also the Mive style folder 2, of course. The Samsung folder 2, I had it before, but I sold it. But that one only has Android 5.1 Lollipop, so it's still gonna work, but of course it's gonna be harder and harder to find apps that work with it over time, just because it's such an old version of Android and you don't get security updates anymore. So I doubt you can do any banking on your phone with that one, but this is what I recommend. If you want less apps but still have apps, if that makes sense, you just need your really the necessary apps, like the messaging apps and maybe a browser. I would recommend getting a Japanese flip phone that's at least Android 8. So the options are these ones. These ones, okay? These are really good options. If you just want a flip phone because it's cute and you're probably just gonna use it for, I don't know, like as a calculator or music player, anything like this or even this would make you happy probably. So yeah, that's what I have currently. I really hope this has been helpful. Honestly, the specs that I mentioned are something that you can look up online, but I kind of just wanted to show you what they look like, you know, right next to each other if you're not sure which one to get. I really hope this video was fun to watch, and if you've watched it until the end, thank you so much. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!